Welcome. This is Sandra Hess, founder of DTC Wine Workshops, and I have the pleasure today of sitting with two professionals from the wine industry as we get into case study number 12 of the DTC Wine Case Study Series. We're going to dig into the true ROI of a wine brand working with Concierge Alliance Napa Sonoma to expand brand awareness and improve the quality of visitors to a visitor center. And so without further ado, let's open it up for introductions. The first.
Hi, Sandra. Hi, Judd. A little background about me and Canvas. I moved to Napa, Sonoma 12 years ago and didn't know anyone. And so I figured becoming a concierge would be a great way to get to know my community. My background is in PR in New York. And I also was in the film business for quite a few years. And I'll throw in a little tidbit. For a couple of years, I was even a stunt woman.
Why?
So I got a job at Villaggio, which was a wonderful hotel, and has now become another group ownership. And for 3.5 years, I met all kinds of people and got a sense of the community, the hospitality community, and then decided it would be really wonderful to be able to support that community. So I started Canvas with Monica Stevens, by the way, and Monica and I worked together on it for about a year, and then she got married and started 750 Wines, which is a wonderful by-appointment retail store. And so then I was moving forward with Canvas by myself, and Concierge Alliance of Napa Valley and Sonoma, because we added that, became Canvas to abbreviate.
Excellent. So 10 years ago, launched Canvas in the Napa Sonoma areas of wine country. And so, Judd, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, hi, my name is Judd Wallenbrock. I am the president and CEO of Charles Krug. We are the oldest winery in Napa Valley. This is the place that started all that Napa Valley is today. Very proud of that. It's family owned, and we're actually the third family of stewardship, and it's the Mondavi family, Peter Mondavi Sr., and we have, the Mondavis have actually owned Charles Krug for 75 years. This is the 75th anniversary. And the president and CEO, we have a professional management team that manages the company, and we work very, very closely with this iconic family, the Mondavis, to run this fantastic operation.
Well, I'm just delighted to sit down with you here and learn more about how you've worked together to improve opportunities for consumers and concierges alike to explore Charles Krug there in iconic Napa Valley. Now with over 800 wine brands between Napa and Sonoma, consumers today have quite a few choices as they're exploring beautiful wine region. And so that brings me to my first case study question today for Colby. Colby, you talk about coming from an entertainment PR industry and seeing a need 10 years ago to better connect the concierge to the winery properties throughout beautiful wine country. Can you tell us about your vision for founding Canvas at that time?
I would love to. I'm very passionate about it. I wanted to acknowledge what I affectionately call the worker bees in the hospitality industry. No one ever acknowledged them for channeling millions and millions of dollars. And so that was the first thing, was to recognize them, and then to be able to support them and give them the opportunity to strengthen their relationships through relationship building and networking events, give them the opportunity to go to many of the locations so that they're more familiar and can do a more accurate presentation. And I guess putting together what I call multiple impressions. That's the way that our members, which are made up of, it's kind of a third, and a third. There are a third concierges and tour guides.
Okay.
There are about a third wineries, and then there are a third every other kind of business within hospitality. And so that's what we want to bring together. So everybody's recommending, the professional recommender. So if they know about each other, they can do a better job for our visitors.
Absolutely. And I love that you had the insight 10 years ago to say it's time to provide a platform in a more meaningful way to connect a variety of professional recommenders. So these people being possibly from a hotel, restaurant, resort throughout wine country, or maybe even out into greater parts of the Bay Area. The Ritz-Carlton concierge maybe in San Francisco versus a property maybe in Silicon Valley. So wonderful to hear that you have the vision to bring a much needed service to the wine country. And so Judd, over to you about why a brand like Charles Krug decided then to use some of the services that Canvas provides.
What we're going to talk a little bit about is the proliferation of wineries. There's so many choices for consumers in wine, not just wine, but all sorts of different experiences, from dining to everything like that. The entertainment side of things, 500 wineries at least in Napa Valley alone. So we need to really kind of stand out. How do we drive that traffic that comes into our tasting room when there's so much competition out there? We have some phenomenal wines. We have an amazing facility, and that facility can do so many things like weddings and big events and all sorts of things that maybe a lot of others can't do. But how do we get that word out? There's only so much that we have in our own company that we can do. And the reality is we need to drive traffic into the winery. And once people see the winery, they fall in love with it. They fall in love with the wines. They think it's an awesome place. But how do we get those people to come in? Well, I've known Colby for I used to be a stunt CEO. I've known her for probably since the day she started the whole thing, from various wineries that I've been involved with. And what we've always found is that these concierge are really super referrers, and the people that they drive to once they discover who we are, when they see who we are, they drive real quality clients to our facility. And that to me it's got huge value to it.
So Colby, let's talk about the types of services and events then that you offer.
Okay, so first of all, let me just mention that we have 900 members of Canvas, and every single week we reach out to over 11,000 hospitality professionals. When we do that outreach to 11,000 hospitality professionals, that's through our Canvas Weekly Insider. And we let them know everything that's going on in the Valley, all the events and the news, and what, who's doing what and what's happening. In addition to that, we reach out beyond just Napa and Sonoma, and we bring people in from San Francisco as well as Napa, Sonoma to our networking events. And we have two different kinds of networking events. One is very social, and the other is more of a quick connect, which is kind of like speed dating. And in those opportunities, our members get to, again, go on property of other members and see what the services are that they offer.
I see.
And then every single month we do a research day, and we take 12 concierges to 3 or 4 different properties where they experience what's going on. And that gives them a wonderful platform to be able to knowledgeably recommend to their members. So my attitude is if they know the turf, they can match the guest up with the right winery or other property, and the guest is going to have a better time, meaning they'll buy more. And so it's a total win-win-win.
Mm-hmm. So, for example, knowing at Charles Krug that there are 2 different reservation tasting experiences, or the opportunity to host maybe some large group VIPs in the various spaces. So, Jed, can you expand a little bit?
One of the big things that Colby was just talking about, we actually hosted the Concierge Alliance right about a year ago for a holiday introduction. And so we had several hundred of these influencers that came in and discovered Charles Krug. And you have to understand that Charles Krug has been around since 1861, but it's only been right around 5 years where we've had this heavy investment into our direct-to-consumer tasting experiences with an incredible makeover by a beautiful, beautiful facility. Prior to that, it was really kind of a double-wide trailer out in the front, And so for us, it's almost a rediscovery of what Charles Krug is. So here we bring all these influences in here. The second part of that, though, is it's what we call the love connection. The love connection is that relationship that we create with these concierge and the referral network that's out there that Colby brings to us, but then we measure them. So in other words, when we get a referral from them, any referral we get to, we track that referral. Where did it come from? Who was it that gave it to us? And we can now tie that back to who, however they discovered us. And in many cases, of course, it comes from from Canvas.
Mm-hmm.
For us to take that referral and then be able to measure it is critical, because then we can build upon it from there.
Absolutely. And I like to hear that your team, then your DTC team, is taking the time to truly track and look at the quality of some of these referrals coming through your membership with Concierge Alliance Napa Sonoma. And, I actually did attend that event last holiday season there at Charles Krug, and it really opened my eyes up to the variety of options that you have. I mean, the facility is absolutely stunning. The indoor-outdoor spaces, the library, tasting space, the upstairs event area, exposure to your gorgeous barrel room through the glass, walls and windows, and the pizza oven. Let's talk about the pizza oven, right? And so, but, prior to that visit with Canvas, I didn't realize that you had two different daily reservations that could be made on property, including the historical tour, which I found to be quite interesting.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of people that, the experience when we talk about wine is certainly about the wine, but it's also about everything else that goes on there. The history, the authenticity, the education.
The fact that, Colby, you're offering then a variety of these events on site, whether it be the field trip days, the research days on a monthly basis, or the large-scale events, we're keeping updated and fresh. And so now this part of the case study, I'm sure our audience is going to get excited about. Let's get into the true ROI, the return on investment, when a brand like Charles Krug Winery works with Canvas, Concierge Alliance Napa Sonoma. So let's start off with costs. Well, Colby, can you walk us through what your membership looks like?
Sure. I'll start with the wineries, since we're talking with Judd today. And if a wine, it's all based on annual production. So if a winery is over 75,000 cases, it's $1,000. If they're between 5,000 cases and 75,000 cases, it's $875 for an entire year from the date that they join. And then for the smaller wineries, because we want to be empathetic to their budgets, it's about it is $775 for wineries under 5,000 cases. And then for other businesses like the restaurants and balloon companies and that kind of thing, it's a straight $600 for the year.
You mentioned, over 900 members now, plus 11,000 opt-in email subscribers.
We've done 5 trade shows where we bring people from outside the region. We have a website that's fully searchable so that the concierges and other recommenders can quickly put properties together with the needs of the guest. And one last thing that I wanted to mention, and this is an exclusive for you, Sandra, is that Canvas, with our 10-year anniversary, is launching a Canvas Experience magazine. And we'll be using the knowledge and the excitement from the concierges and the winemakers talking about where they like to go eat and all of the intimate details of our community within this magazine. And there's nothing else out there like that.
Well, congratulations, first of all, on your 10-year anniversary. And when can we get a copy of this magazine?
It's going to be part of our holiday party, our 10-year anniversary party, and the launch of our magazine, and that's going to be held at Inglenook, and it'll be on December 12th.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to that party and seeing this new magazine, so congratulations there, Colby. So, Jed, let's now get into costs. And so you have $1,000 cost. How do you justify the return on investment? What are some measures you're looking at?
Yeah, this is where I think the rubber hits the road, so to speak. It's first of all, let me talk a little bit about when we do get these referrals that come in. Like I say, we track that information, but we don't just track whether or not they came or didn't come or whatever it happens to be. We also track whether or not they bought, if they joined the wine club, if there's a lifetime value behind that. And what we found so far is that really the people that are being brought to us through Canvas, I won't go into the details of the numbers. It's a higher sell. It's a qualified client that they're sending to us, and a client that actually delivers. So to me, that's hugely valuable. Now you just take a look at the basic ROI, which is a really simple formula, right? It's what does it cost us? And then divide that out by really our margins. And I won't go into the margins of DTC, but I think we probably all know they're much higher than 3-tier or others. But if I do that, and let's say I'm paying $1,000 for Canvas to get these thousands and thousands of impressions and hundreds and hundreds of these concierges visiting and referring to us, the break even on that is about $1,200 to $1,300, which is the sale of a case of wine. So for me, it's a no-brainer.
Yes, thank you so much, Judd. You gave us some words of wisdom around how your team does stay on top of the tracking. And I think that's a really important piece when we look at tying in the ROI statement and justifying cost of any additional service when it comes to the world of direct-to-consumer wine sales. So glad to hear that you're seeing much more quality groups coming through, resulting in higher average order values. As we wrap up DTC case study 12 today, quick summary around what we've learned. 10 years ago, Colby sought out to provide opportunities for wine producers and a variety of businesses in the wine country to better engage, better connect with these professional recommenders, concierges throughout the wine regions as well as the Greater Bay Area. And so with that said, now we look at some of the true ROI of becoming a Canvas member. And what I'm hearing, what I've learned is the ability to educate these concierges on the new options for consumers to visit, whether it be tasting, reservation style experiences, whether it be upcoming events, opportunities to bring VIPs or parties into the variety of visitor centers today in wine country. The ROI that touched on is also very important. The quality of those visitors coming in on a regular basis, expanding brand awareness to a variety of qualified wine buyers, but also then the increase in those average order values based on these qualified visitors. And so thank you so much for taking time out to share your ROI around the why. And as we wrap up in today's case study, would you like to leave final words of advice? Colby, let's start with you.
I think the key is that as much heart is in the referral process and as much knowledge is in the referral process, guests are going to match up with the right properties and everybody prospers from that. And I'd like to thank Judd very much for kind of explaining how we've helped him out through the years. Thank you, Judd.
And Judd, as we wrap up, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I think the key thing here is that remember that this is the hospitality industry, and wine is a very, very, very personal thing. And so when you're dealing with wine and you're dealing with human beings, it's all about the personal touch, and it's all about relationships. And those relationships that we can make with the people that Colby works with and all those referral people, it's all still about great relationships. And when they have a great relationship with us and we have a great relationship with them, we can also refer business back to their hotels, to their restaurants, et cetera. It's a reciprocal arrangement. But most importantly is that the guest has a great time. And that to me is what it's all about. We work together to create a remarkable experience for the guests.
Excellent. Well, it sounds like you two have really figured it out. You're doing the right thing to make sure that guests are going to have a great time at Charles Krug Winery. So thank you so much again for your time today. Enjoy this beautiful fall weather and harvest there in wine country. Cheers.
Thank you, Sandra.